Your talent and your gift is something you often take for granted. Most of us do. But what I want you to understand is that your talent, your gift, is in line and connected with your purpose. Not only is it connected with your purpose, it's connected with the grand scheme of grand consciousness, this universe, exactly how things are supposed to fall in line and take place, right? The proper alignment or the proper dictation or direction that the universe is supposed to go in. Don't think that you're just some small insignificant thing that just simply has consciousness and self-awareness and you're just living your life, letting life happen to you. That's probably the furthest thing from the truth. What I want you to understand is that though, when you compare yourself to the number of people who have existed and will exist, it may seem quite insignificant, but recognize that all of us have our place. All of us make a difference. All of us matter. And the reason and how we matter most is by acknowledging these special talents or gifts that you have. When you acknowledge those gifts, when you pursue your passions in connection with those gifts, you are in line and aligning yourself with the proper direction of the universe. You're aligning yourself with exactly how things are supposed to be done. And when I say supposed to be done, what I mean is in alignment with abundance, happiness, harmony, right? Peace, love, pleasure, all the things that we associate with positive emotions and experiences. But when we aren't aligned with and being in connection with those passions and our talents, that often results in you experience the negative aspects of life, right? Suffering, depression, frustration, anger, right? All the different things, and even the expressions of like violence and killing one another, right? Those things are expressions of us not being properly aligned or not living in alignment with what we are supposed to really be doing here. So what I want you to understand is that your talents, your gifts, that is God working through you. Okay. If we all followed and pursued our talents and gifts properly, and we recognize that those talents and gifts had a place, that they have a place, that they are valuable, not only in the grand scheme of you personally and how you are personally living your life and creating your life and living in alignment with that fulfillment that you seek, but also how it contributes to the collective consciousness of the universe. So when you think about your talents, understand that your talents they're essentially God in action. They're essentially grand consciousness speaking through you, right? There are basically what we can call God's will being connected with your talents. You see, you are essentially the hand of God. You are essentially the actions of God. When you are in alignment with who you truly are, you are then in alignment with God's will and with universal peace, harmony, and all the things that you associate with really living and being in alignment with who you truly are, right? That spiritual journey that we're seeking, that destination of complete harmony and everything being in alignment. So I want you to recognize how important your talents are and not to discredit, not to belittle, not to doubt or make them seem insignificant, like they don't matter, when they do. They matter a great deal. They matter not only for you, they matter to the collective consciousness. They matter to grand consciousness, what you may call God. They matter, and you must align yourself with those things to properly align yourself with all of existence and the way things are supposed to be. Now, yes, you're going to go through a process of trial and error. You're going to slip and fall. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to have some errors along the way. But as long as you are aligned with who you truly are, your talents and who and what you're supposed to be doing, then it will all fall into place. All of those, mistakes, all of those challenges, all of those trip ups, they ultimately mean experiences. They ultimately give you what you need to be successful later on, right? And though we're not really focusing on the future, we have to acknowledge that our experiences help and support us in being the person we're meant to be. And so now you have to take ownership of your talents, take ownership of your passions, your gifts, and recognize that you are meant to do those things, simple and plain. And when you are not aligning yourself with those things, it's going to result in a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, right? And so, though, yes, you will be tested as you make this transition of living a mundane, mediocre life, just going through the routine of a regular job and watching TV and not doing anything really productive and then repeating that day after day. But as you go through the transition of changing from one lifestyle to a lifestyle where you are creating fulfillment, happiness, and success, there's going to be a moment where you're going to feel tested. You're going to feel like everything is going against you. And that's really you. That's really your ego fighting the change. Your ego is associated with fear, is associated with the separation, right, of you versus everything else. That isn't really who you are. That's simply a small fraction of who you are. But all of who you are, the truth about who you are, is about your consciousness and being led by consciousness, which really gets into the oneness of all things. So when you align with the consciousness, you will be tested by the ego. The ego will try to pull you back because the ego likes to be comfortable. Even if you are uncomfortable, it likes to be familiar because it knows that. The idea of change can be scary for the ego, but you have to recognize and stay in the mindset of understanding that consciousness is leading you to a change that will result in your happiness and your success. And then you have to continue to push forward and acknowledge those setbacks, receive them as lessons that are going to strengthen you and prepare you better for the things and the way of being that is meant for you. But you have to acknowledge how significant, how powerful, and how important. I really want you to understand how important it is that you follow your passions, your talents, even your curiosities along this journey, because that is essentially the path. When you are not following those things, you are going off the path. You are not really going in the direction that you're supposed to be going. And if you're not going in that direction that you're supposed to be going, is going to be a lot of suffering and pain going any other way. So let's focus on the things that you love, the things that you do well, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're curious about, and create the life that you really want. Create the life that you're meant for. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and also get access to this free ebook, The Power Within. I also invite you to join me in my Manifestation Monday morning meetings every Monday morning at 7 a.m. I look forward to seeing you there. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.